All right, welcome back to the Big Asp Podcast. We are now joined by Mr. Bag Season himself, Samuel Martinez. What's going on, man?
Guys, thank you so much for having me. Finally made it. I've been watching this podcast for a long time, but it is the perfect time to be on the show because you guys are on a heater. You guys nailed the predictions with Lori and Miranda, with Ryan Trader going nuts, Jacob Jasinski and Tanner. Guys, this has to only be good things for me. Thank you so much for having me.
Hell yeah, man.
Of course, and honestly, you wore the appropriate shirt.
Yeah.
Bags, beers. What's the third line?
Boards.
Boards.
Oh, hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Love it.
That's literally like
The three Bs, baby.
Yeah.
Three Bs.
The three Bs. But likewise, man, I've been a fan of your content for a minute. And before we started recording, I was telling you that I remember back when you had less than 100 followers, but I came across one of the reels you posted up early, and I thought the quality of it was so fucking good. I'm like, dude, I was just along for the ride.
I feel like we actually talked about it.
Yeah,
we saw it
early on.
I'm like, who's making this?
Wow.
Yeah,
This is
a long
really
time
good.
ago. And then all of a sudden, I see your stuff everywhere, man. So first of all, talk a little bit about going from where you're just getting your start, and then to where you are at now.
Yeah, so I started in 2020. First off, thank you for the compliment. I come from a filmmaking background. Now it's called content, right? That's the new word. It was always filmmaking, movies. Now it's all about content. But in 2020, right when the COVID lockdown started, I was doing a lot of high school football here in Texas, which is a big deal. I'm sure you've heard of how big football is in the state of Texas.
You guys try out there. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you guys are in Ohio, but
Yeah,
sorry.
State's
I understand. Hey, all respect to Ohio. I know you guys are about it also. But I was shooting a lot of football content.
Okay.
And somebody had seen my work. And so they recommended me to the Caballeros. Are you familiar with Trevor and Easton, the Caballero boys?
Yeah.
At that time, they were trying to link up Trevor to play Patrick Mahomes, a one-on-one match, because Mahomes had done that State Farm commercial. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, his dad was telling us about that at one of the TCL events.
Yeah.
Remember, we're talking wee hours of the night.
Yes.
We were walking back to our room, and he stopped us in the hotel lobby at 4 a.m. kind of thing. So
yeah,
we heard all about it actually that night.
It had a lot of heat. Yeah, it had a lot of heat behind it, and Trevor was actually on SportsCenter. Now, I'm not talking about ESPN2 or ESPN Plus. Trevor Caballero, when he was 6, was on SportsCenter, the flagship program, and they were hyping him up to play Patrick Mahomes. So it looked like this thing was going to happen. I really don't know why it didn't. I don't know all those details, but that's when they brought me on board because, again, somebody had seen my work, all my football stuff I did, and they were like, hey, we have this client in Florida. He plays cornhole, not professionally, but he's a pretty good athlete. Are you interested in shooting some of their content? I knew nothing about the game. I had seen it, but I really didn't know much about it. I didn't know what it was called. I always thought it was called cornball. Funny. And so anyways, they flew me over. I met the family and I ended up having just a great connection with them immediately. Trevor again was 6. I think Easton at that time was about to be 4. And then the youngest one, Ashton, was still a baby. He was still in the stroller. Yeah. So I kind of followed them around for about a year. We shot 4 episodes. We had written a 10-episode arc. We were planning to do a whole docuseries because this was coming off of that Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, hype. Everybody wanted to do that long form content. So that was the game plan. And then we only got 4 episodes in. Unfortunately, we never found that sponsorship. It always comes down to, finances.
Yeah.
But man, I really fell in love with the game. Through the Caballeros, through the family, and that's how I was introduced to the game.
One of my favorite videos ever is when those two are playing in I think they're inside their house and they're talking shit to each other.
Oh yeah,
it's the funniest thing. Because I think the one's 3, and I want to say Trevor was maybe 6, maybe at the time, 5 at the time. It was crazy. Just talking.
Yeah.
It does pain me a bit because they're just pouring bag in after bag. I do that.
I was thinking of Noah, not Trevor. I was thinking of
okay.
Wrong family. Wrong family. Anyways, but dude, that's crazy. So so you do this mini series, right? And then how did you decide to stick in the cornhole world? Did you meet other people just by filming with that family then?
Yeah, so we filmed for about a year and a half, all the way until Spencer McKenzie's 2022.
Okay.
And along the ride, we went to so many locations throughout the country just with the Caballeros, but I was meeting other players, both pros and non-pros. I came very close with the Gore brothers,
Okay.
and just, again, some of the other pros. And whenever we got to the point where we took a break with the Caballeros, I also took a break with Cornhole, and I was really about to hang it up because I wasn't seeing the growth. I wasn't sure I didn't know where I was. I was at a standpoint. But again, I just really fell in love with the game. And I was like, you know what? I'm no longer just going to focus on the Caballero family. I love they're an amazing family. I'm so thankful for what they did for me, bringing me in. But at that point, I kind of wanted to go independent and just do my own thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the long form content takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of money and time. I thought to myself, I think if we do some short form content, that might be better. And that was it. So I started traveling around Texas just blindly, looking on Scoreholio, seeing how many people are going to be at what event. I take my cameras and I just show up and I would start meeting people. Again, I knew some of the pros through the Caballeros, but that's how it really happened. I started making short form edits. I found that people really love those 20-second highlights in and out because people's attention span is so short.
Yeah,
That's
Robbie.
crazy, man.
Jeez.
It is.
How long have you been in like the content or like the film video editing world in general?
Yeah, well, but again, my background is with filmmaking, videography. I did a lot of weddings and different jobs to pay the bills, video wise. But my heart was always in filmmaking. I always loved movies growing up as a kid. It's sad right now because movies is a dying art. I kind of think you see so many movie theaters. I don't know how it is up there where you guys are. Do you guys have a lot of movie theaters?
I mean, a lot of them closed. I mean, there are still. I mean, they do decent right now, but I mean, the streaming world is just so.
Depressing. I'm taking my niece to go see Inside Out 2 tomorrow.
I know.
So, that's the crazy thing though right now is Inside Out 2 is like there's this big thing right now with the box office. Like the box office is down like already like 15% than it was last year.
Yeah.
And last year was like 30% down from
what
it was pre-COVID.
Oh yeah.
But Inside Out is like it's like at 700 million right now. It's like going to be a billion in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it surpassed Dune 2 as the
going to the movies is still one of my favorite pastimes of all time.
All day.
And I like the older I get too, I look at it as like every time I'm going, like you're helping to support like not just the people that made the movie, but like all the people that work for the movie industry across the board. You know what I mean? Like you're helping to keep that around.
Yeah,
like, I think that's the heart now.
There's no
100%.
better places to watch a movie than a movie theater.
Oh, dude.
Hey, you guys are hitting me right here, right now.
I can't wait for my kids to get a little bit older where I can just like anytime be like, hey, it's outside, we're going to the movies. Like right now, like they have to be like the right kids movie that'll be out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or my daughter's gonna be like, let's
right
like
when they're,
leave.
But like when they're like 10, 11, you're like, maybe you could see PG-13. Like then it opens a whole new world. You're like, all right.
Yeah. But not
only
only with movie theaters, but when I was growing up, also it was going to the like Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video. Man, that was it for me on a Friday night.
How old are you?
Hour there, figuring out what to take home.
Yeah, no, we were the same boat, man. Hollywood Video right up the street.
Like literally right up the street.
Oh, really?
My mom would be like, all right, guys, you have 10 minutes and like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we found 3. Okay.
You can pick 2. It's like, no.
No, we're gonna get
so. What you really just need to realize to save yourself time, just give up and just we're gonna get to 3 anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like there's one of you, we're gonna win.
Yeah, but then Kurt would be like, well, we have to return them in 3 days. We'd be like, no, this one's a 5-day rental. So you up here day 5. Fine.
And did they ever hit you with those rewind fees? It's like, dude, that was so silly. But I mean, that's how they made their money.
Well,
it's funny as brothers, I'm going to ask you guys this. So when I would go to the video store, my brother, who was a year older than me, he was a popular kid. He didn't want to go to the video store on a Friday night, but he'd want to come home and watch the video. So he'd come home and be like, so what movies did you get? Yeah. I'd be coming home with like Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and all these weird science fiction movies that he didn't want to watch. He's like, why are you renting this crap? I'm like, dude, you should have gone.
Well, we were young. Luckily, we had like very similar taste in movies. Yeah. Like it was basically either comedy or action.
Yeah,
You know what I
love
mean?
Fern Gully.
Yeah.
Right.
Comedy reaction. I love Fern Gully.
It's
Jeez.
thank you.
Lightweight though, when you're a kid, that movie's scary as hell. Like the oil monster.
100%,
that
man.
movie is
Right?
Yeah.
It checks a lot of boxes.
Sure does.
Unsung.
Actually,
And I
yeah.
think the animation in that was like way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Oh, slamming.
You remember the first time we watched
Mhm.
Hook?
Yeah.
Do you remember who was in the room? Who made us watch Hook for the first time? I was too young.
Who made us watch Hook? What year did that come out?
94.
90. I was gonna say 91.
Yeah, I was
maybe
pretty
more.
early. I was
Early
pretty
90s.
young, but this was like at a home, and we were sitting on the couch, and someone was like, "We're gonna watch Hook."
I don't remember
It
who.
was Big Bump.
Was it really?
Uh,
Big
that
Bump.
sounds
And
about
I
right.
was like 6 years old, and then that year he gave me the sword.
Oh
from
yeah.
Hook
Oh yeah.
for
yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah.
And again, this was the
Made
toy.
the noises.
Made the noise from a movie that came out 7 years prior or 6 years prior.
Yeah.
Still got me that. Yeah. Loved it. Forever fan. But yeah,
Pretty badass.
just random fact.
Well, all right. So we all had like that movie that we remember, like that
Yeah.
we go see. What was yours? Like, what's like? It could be any movie. Like maybe it was like a moment, or you went to go see it with somebody. Like, what was the one movie memory?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was Terminator 2. This was in 1991.
Okay.
I'm a movie nerd. I'm really good with dates and movies and stuff like that. Terminator 2, I couldn't see it at the movie theater because we didn't have a lot of cash growing up. But as soon as it came to home video, I was there. And that tape was so hard to get. We would sit there and wait for them to drop off the video, from returns. And I'd be sitting there in the return boxes. Oh, there it is. It's finally in, So, Terminator 2 was the big one for me. I grew up on science fiction and horror movies. I'm a big horror fan too.
Oh,
so.
okay. All right.
All right. I mean, I fancy myself a bit of a fan of the horror genre. So, like, what are we talking here?
I loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Nightmare on Elm Street series before
We get
Freddy
along.
got really campy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah?
along fine. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Those are ones like I still go back and I will watch like the classics all the time.
Yeah.
One of my go-tos every year is The Shining. I make it a
Oh,
to watch that movie.
Stanley Kubrick. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's massive.
yeah.
You guys
Exactly. It is.
remember, it's in no way, by no means, it's like a classic in its own way, especially our generation. Do you guys remember the Idle Hands movies?
I do not.
So Idle Hands is like where the kid's hand gets taken over by the devil, so he like chops it off. And then like this little, it's horror, I guess, but it's more
Okay.
like campy horror. I don't know.
It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy.
It
That
is
was
a
Jessica
comedy.
Alba's.
Okay.
I think that was her first movie. That was Jessica Alba's first movie. I think.
Yeah. And
Oh my
like,
god, how have I never seen
Yeah,
that?
I
shit?
just
remember,
remember
like,
like
She's
number
my
one.
1A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Like,
like
that is,
forever.
oh, and I just remember growing up, I probably saw that too young, and I just remember it just freaked me out.
That explains.
Yeah, oh yeah, that movie just freaked me out.
All right, so we're just kind of in it right now.
All right.
So I actually thought of a good question. What is a movie growing up that you saw that you were like, what did I like? Why? Why did I go see this?
Like something that you did not like.
Yeah. Is there one that, because, all right, I
Growing
had
up,
one
I'm trying to
that
think. There wasn't.
right off the rip. I was like, what did we just see?
Okay.
And it was called The 13th Warrior.
Oh god damn it, Dane! Those fucking kids.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, like
those,
with
like,
the kangaroo
it was like-
character thing.
No, this was not.
Oh.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
even weirder than that. I'm telling you, this was like some weird, like,
Do you know what we're talking about, Robbie?
I have no
we
idea.
went
Take
and
your
saw.
phone.
I'm normally like,
Is that,
I'm
is that
like,
the name of it? Maybe I'm
with
mixing
this
up the
stuff.
names, but
Yeah,
like,
well, you can't. Don't
I mean,
you
honestly, I
keep
think
talking.
if we say like kangaroo karate movie, that would
Yeah.
basically be it.
You
but,
mean
like,
Kangaroo Jack?
We brought two of our buddies to go see it. The Anthony and Samuel Harmon lived down the street. My mom came and picked them up. We all went out to this movie theater. My mom came with us because we were all very young.
No,
Went
it's
and saw
called The
this-
Warriors of Virtue.
There it is. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
The
I don't know what
13th
that
Warrior?
is.
It's not the 13th Warrior. Warriors of Virtue, though. Thank you, Sean, for looking that up, fact checking me. But oh my god, it looks.
What?
This movie was so bad. I felt bad for my mother
I don't think
having to
I've seen
take us to go see this movie. And I was like 8 years old when it came out.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
So yeah, I mean, that was one that I was just like, I did like.
Interesting.
Kudos to mine.
I'm trying to think if there was a movie that like I just did not like. I think it's actually been probably not when I was little, but I'm trying to think of what it was like. I'll be honest, like I was super excited, and this is somewhat recently, to see Oppenheimer. I thought,
the shit on that movie,
dude, I thought it was a little bit of a letdown.
Where'd you watch it?
What's that?
Where did you watch it?
At the movie theater.
You watched it at the movie theater,
Yes.
and you thought it was
That's what I'm
underwhelming?
thinking. Because all I kept hearing was like it's supposed to be like this cinematic like masterpiece, and like you're supposed to be, dude.
Just because they had one really loud moment.
We all know what fucking
Yeah.
just, dude. It dragged out too long. It was too long.
But those scenes, you know, like the scenes, like the super up close stuff of like it would just cut and you'd see something like a spark. That's all practical.
I'm not
stuff.
saying. I'm just saying in general, it did not live up to the hype that I think I personally had built up for it. So I was a little disappointed.
So in Barbenheimer, you were Team Barbie, is what I'm hearing.
I still have not seen Barbie.
You need to see Barbie.
I just whatever keep saying. I have not seen Barbie.
I did both in one day. I did the Barbenheimer, but we did Oppenheimer first and Barbie second because you got to have dessert. You know, you have dessert after dinner. And Oppenheimer, it was really good, and Barbie, like, it was cool, but also Oppenheimer's like 3 and change. Barbie's like,
yeah, it's a long movie.
Have you guys? Okay, so I'm
So you
gonna
were exhausted
Oh,
by the time you saw it.
a movie that for me changed it because I love the book so much, but that I thought probably has the best. I think you can argue probably has the best or most successful cast of all time. All right, it's called The Outsiders.
Oh yeah,
The Outsiders?
The Outsiders.
Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
On the book? Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Val are going to see that. They're doing that at the drive-in, like in September or something. So we're at like I think on Thursday nights to do like throwback movies.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's The Outsiders and Goonies, maybe.
Oh,
Great.
Yeah.
Lost Boys would also be great.
She hit me up and she's like, The Outsiders.
Goonies never say
Fun
die.
fact, it's the first movie my wife and I ever watched together, and it's why she gave me a chance because I actually knew what the movie was.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's like, you've heard of this? I'm like, Pony
Yeah,
Boy.
you're like
Journeys?
never stays.
Pony Boy. Yeah.
Gold
Yeah.
never stays, Pony Boy. Gold never stays.
All right.
Gold
So before we get too off the rails, because you were yelling at me before we even started recording.
Sean, we've already again surpassed the time limit that I was saying.
We are
so
off the rails.
I kind of just
So we've
stuck up to it.
been teasing this forever. So we have, and I was tagged in this. I didn't even see this on my own free will. People were like, "This has got to be featured." There was some drama that happened in the cornhole community this weekend, Robbie.
Daddy
Samuel, I don't know if you follow along with any of the drama.
Go get yourself.
That's in some of these cornhole forums. But there was basically a guy posted on the site, I think his name was Gene, accusing of a guy, and his name was Andy, saying like that he bought bags and he was never sent out. And it was the whole feud back and forth.
Can I read this one?
Do you want? You got to
want me
do
to get the
justice.
draw?
Yes, you got to do
Gotcha.
justice. Okay.
Gotcha. I was already, as I read it, I kind of
Gene
already
has
had it.
accused. All right, just to set this up, Gene has accused Andy. All right, of basically, I paid you for these fucking bags. I didn't want to do this, but he's calling him out. I never got the fucking bags. It's been a long time. This is Andy's response to Gene.
Cue Law and Order sounds.
And this is hold on.
It's the red.
No, yeah, but we want the soundbite now. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you want right there?
Okay.
Addicted to cornhole. Andy Anderson. And no apologies, FWI. Feels good when you know you're right. And so to everyone else, I'm 100% G to G. For those that saw all the drama going on yesterday and everybody taking sides was being taken. But you know what? Quote, quote, quote. That truth hurts. Because you can argue with an opinion, but you can't argue with a fact. And the fact is, I ain't no liar, ain't no cheater, and I didn't scam anybody. And so wanted everybody to know this because ain't none. I'm going to say say nothing. His bags will be there today just like I told him they would. Just like I told him. They're trying to justify so I rest my case. Ain't got time for that Yankees, sorry. My friend Yankee friends, they are some exceptions, just like they have down here.
So I thought would be fun is Dane did one. Do you have another response by Andy?
Oh, we have another. So Andy is the bag seller or supposed bag receiver?
He is the seller
Of-
who was accused of not giving the bags on the date and then That was his retort.
And Andy has another retort.
Okay.
Where's
We have another retort.
Which
This is the other retort.
You going Southern Draw?
molasses.
Yeah, choose a different region. Go a little more like Creole with it.
No.
Gene Sancy, before you start running your fucking mouth about beware of the seller, I can tell you right now I'm 100%. Get the fuck out. You can ask anyone that knows me. I don't fuck around with people, period. And also, I want you to go reach out to every site you open your mouth and insert your damn foot. I'll be waiting for that apology from you and everyone else that you had damn frustrated lies about me. So before you go saying shit about you better have your damn facts straight. So I'll be waiting for an apology once I sold your bags where they found, and I dissed them, and I did ship them, and went above and beyond to make sure you got your bags. Andy.
Yeah, dude. Well, the questioning is
So this is if you're new to the show, and you're like, God, like I really like cornhole, and then what is this? Like it's the cornhole community. Like that's
welcome.
That's called Welcome to Addicted to Cornhole page.
Yes.
And that's the kind of shenanigans you're going to see.
It's a reason why we still have a show 6 years later.
If you are looking just for that, like that page, it's just great for just read the comments. And like I was so proud of the comment section, and there's certain posts that I make that like I'm like egging, like I want to see like
yes.
You've been listening to the show forever. You know what we want. Like lay it on thick. Like we want funny, right? And some of the comments were so good, and I'm very proud
that they're literally just chipping away.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Like,
well,
I'm seeing this receipt as you ship them today overnight.
Just hanging on just a little bit. And listen, I'm proud of you guys. All right, listen, that's so good.
Love it.
That's so good. And Andy, man, like, how mad do you have to be to like not proofread at all? Or
honestly,
did he proofread it?
No, I think he's doing talk to text. Jerry just can't understand it. It's a little thick. So yeah, it's just kind of piecing it together best you can.
I kind of wish we had Andy here or D to read that in a British accent. Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, not this Andy that actually posted.
No,
we're talking about our friend British Andy. Yes, classy Andy.
Classy Andy.
We call him Brandy for short.
It is
a fine girl.
Ridiculous, but that's basically the fun stuff in Addicted to Cornhole.
Thank you, Robbie.
God.
Thank you for that appreciation. Sean went right over your head.
I wasn't paying attention.
You're welcome.
I'm just pulling up the Facebook post here because Sammy, you're a pretty popular guy, man.
Let me snag that.
A lot of questions for you. Gavin Kano wants to know, are you going to be copying one of his new T-shirts?
I will. Yes, I will. So Bella wore a shirt, right? And it's Gavin's face. It's huge. It covers the whole shirt. Okay, I get it. Bella's wearing that. She should wear that. I don't think I could walk around with that. It's not for me. But the other piece that he just dropped with, I'm not sure who he's collabing with on these tees.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it's nice. And I will cop it because I'll say this. I think it's important. It's a good thing to support other people in the industry,
100%.
in the cornhole culture, even if they don't, it's just important that we support each other, right? Like this, for example, this is Girls Throw 2, right? Yeah. I'm a big supporter of Girls Throw 2. I think, man, I could go off on a huge tangent about the women in the game. I think that is the key to the growth of the game.
I agree.
We have enough fellas in the game. Like, trust me, we have plenty of fellas. I'm sure you guys.
Yeah. Robbie. All right, just you'd love it.
I love it. Gotta mix.
But let me say this though. This last weekend when I was in Milwaukee, I was making an extra point because this has been kind of on my mind for a while. Originally, when I started, I was really focusing on the youth. It was the youth movement, right? It was the Caballeros, of course, the Gore brothers, the Trader brothers. It was really, back season was really focused on that demographic, but I can see myself shifting more into the women's game because there are some shooters, absolute shooters in the game right now that are women, but also there's some great personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just going to throw one out here. I want to see what you guys think. Lexi Hugeback. What do you guys think about Lexi?
I think we need to get her on the show because I agree. I think she kills it on the broadcast. She holds herself very well. She doesn't seem nervous.
No.
She's like a presence, you know what I mean? Like she does have that kind of about her, and she's been so freaking close, you know what I mean? Just picking the right time to have her on, but yeah, I do agree. Like I think she's very marketable. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Excuse me. And so throughout last weekend in Milwaukee, I was setting out so many of my cameras on the women's games. And Emily Downer, she walked up. Do you guys know Emily? Have y'all talked to her?
I know of the name.
Yeah,
We've not met her on the show.
I met her briefly, just in person, but it was
I don't think
very,
we've met her
very
on the
brief,
show, though.
like one time.
Yeah, she walked up to me and she was like, "Are all these cameras yours?" I think I had like 5 or 6. I have little GoPros that I just put in front of the boards. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm really trying to focus on the women." And she was like, "Yeah, that's cool. We really need that." And I'm like, "You definitely do. Y'all deserve it. Y'all are amazing. And we need more women out there to grow the game." I just feel that really strongly right now. I think you can probably see that in the future. It's going to be a little bit more female centric.
Yeah.
Coming up, down the road. But let me just go back to Gavin. Yes, I will support that T, Gavin. Not the one with your face, the big face, but the other one. That's nice. I do like that.
The one that I saw, it kind of reminded me of like the 90s basketball t-shirt.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like the old starter.
Player, yeah. Like where it had the player on it, like some logo, like with fire in the background.
Back when
thing.
t-shirts were sweet.
Like
kind
of like
exactly.
MG.
And then early 2000s rap albums did that same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a cheap copy and paste, but it's a vibe, and the kids love that shit. They really do. They're eating that up.
Okay. What has been your proudest moment as a content creator filming cornhole for 4 years now?
My proudest moment was last year, when I shot the ESPN commercial for Gladiator Cornhole. That was a defining moment for me.
Was it in the backyard and everything?
Yes.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if you actually
favorite.
heard. Yeah, if you heard
That
our
was our
segment,
favorite. Yeah.
we rated all of the commercials that came out for bad companies, and you guys were our number one.
Yeah.
We loved it.
You're kidding me. No, stop. Actually,
Straight up, yeah. Loved it.
Whenever it came out, like that weekend when everything went all like Ultra, Gladiator, Reynolds, like you guys all came out, we decided like, all right, I'm going to record this, and then we're going to watch them here, and then we're going to rate them. You guys were going through.
Oh, wow.
I loved like the backyard vibe of Gladiator,
Yes.
you know what I mean, kind of going with it. And I love the fact that they use like their own guys, and like I thought it was a great vibe. And I liked that it felt, please don't take offense to this, underproduced. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
I appreciated that. You know what I mean? Like it made it more like relatable a little bit.
I'll give a shout out to Adrian Johnson.
Okay.
That was all his idea.
Yeah.
So, I met Adrian Johnson last year at National #1 in Corpus Christi. And, I just kind of met him in passing. I was shooting some content and he messaged me a week later and he's like, "Hey bro, I've got this, big concept coming up. We have a Gladiator. We have a spot on ESPN coming up. I really like your style. Have you ever shot a national commercial?" Which I hadn't, but you always say yes when they ask you, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Always say yes. I was like, yeah, I could do that. But I really, I probably did bite off more than I could chew, but I'm going to give also a shout out to Fred Bushiro, for the ACL media team, because I reached out to him for tons of questions in terms of specs. How do I need to format this commercial? And he was super accommodating. Every question I had, he answered, and I was able to put that commercial together in a pretty quick time. They had to have the turnaround within like a month. So we were on a deadline, but that was all Adrian's idea. He said, I wanted a 50-50 split.
And you guys got all that filming done in like, what, a day, right? Like you had to get.
No, it was supposed to be a day. It ended. We started shooting in Virginia for one day, but then we didn't get enough shots. So then we had to go to, Erie, Pennsylvania to get some more pickups, and we were missing one key moment. So then at that National 3 was in Portland, so I had to go with them. So I literally went from coast to coast to shoot that commercial in about a month.
Hit me up when you're at Erie. Could have had all your shots in a very quiet, beautiful area.
Erie. Oh my God. That place is beautiful. I've never been up north. Man, I fell in love with it. I wish I could have stayed longer in Erie. But yeah, so that was
I could
all
do a
Adrian's
tournament out there.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great
Really?
commercial, man. I loved
Yeah,
it. It was,
loved it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
let's see. Jake Fisher wants to know, where did you get that sweet Paula Abdul shirt you were wearing on Sunday?
I got that at a thrift store. So, yeah. Okay, that's right, Jake. So I just found I like to shop at, any stores, including thrift stores, and I saw this piece. It was Apollo Abdul. Are you guys fans of Apollo, by the way?
I mean, I know of her. I mean, I think she was a little
I watched
before my
American
time.
Idol and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
I know
it's
she
sad, but
danced
that's how
with
I know
some
her. It's
cartoon
because
cat.
it's called
DJ Scat Cat.
American Idol.
Yeah. DJ Scat Cat.
I know her music
Yeah.
though a little
Mhm.
bit.
Before she was on American Idol, she was huge in the early 90s. I'm giving
Yeah.
away my age a little bit,
Okay.
but she was huge in the early 90s. Before all that glam with American Idol, she was a huge pop star. The Britney Spears, you fill in the name. But yeah, so she's got
hot,
some
too.
bangers.
And a choreographer.
Yeah.
Like great choreographer.
Exactly. She was a dancer for the Los Angeles Lakers, actually.
Oh.
And not only that, I'll say this, Corey Gilbert, aka Light Skin.
Yeah.
I go to him a lot for like a temperature gauge because I feel like he's tapped in with the culture. So I went to Denver with that Paula Abdul tee, and I'm like, bro, hot or not? I can't tell. And he's like, yeah, I fuck with that. I fuck with that. So Light Skin gave me the approval. I mess with
You
Paula
have to
Abdul.
then. Yeah, you have to.
Sean, I wonder if you'd give approval of that shirt.
Yeah, no. Actually, he would probably he's like, for you?
Yeah, it works.
For you.
It works. You got that Charlie Sheen vibe going on, all right?
Ruben wants to know, of all the shots that you filmed, what are your top two?
My top two, to be honest, if I'm able to tell a short story in the 20, 30 seconds, time span, which is usually what I try to aim for, those are my favorites. I can't always do it, but, I can think back to a shot that the Cobb brothers had where it was from beginning to end. You have to go back and watch it. It's kind of hard to explain, but in the end, I was able to tell a story. The last bag, they didn't end up throwing it. And it was a smart move because Logan Chamberlain was baiting them. It was Logan and JBJ versus, I forgot which two of the Cobb Bros it was,
Okay.
but he was baiting him. He was like, throw that last bag because Logan had two bags that were hanging. And he was like, yeah, throw the bag. And they called a timeout. They looked at it and they forfeited the last bag. And Logan walked up to the board, stomped the ground, and both of the bags fell. And everybody started cracking up laughing. That was a great story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You can't always do that, but if you're able to, man, those moments are great.
Oh, yeah. Trying to think.
I like it.
Okay, so we've been doing the show for 6 years, Dane.
Yeah.
Favorite moment?
I mean, no offense to Robbie sitting over there, always love when you join us, buddy. But dude, I loved the moment actually in Erie when we were sitting there and just that matchup between Trzynski and Smith
Oh, that was a cool
and
moment,
Richards
yeah.
Lopez.
He's right there, and then seeing
We
the-
were
Oh, yeah.
there, yeah.
yeah.
And like we had Tony Smith on our end, and he was just on an absolute tear that game.
Yeah.
And we got to see the Philip Lopez backside airmail to stay
Mhm.
alive, like right in person.
Crowd went nuts. That was a huge pop. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
an audience pop, like a wrestling pop.
Yeah, I mean
Amazing.
we were some of the loudest ones there. So it was
Mhm.
yeah, it was a fun moment to be a part of.
Shout
Number
out to the
two,
boys from Siva.
number two, season one or season two of teams? No, season one of teams.
Season 1, yeah.
Season one of teams showing up at Worlds. When all of a sudden the pros found out that, each team's going to win, like they're going to win $40K, and you split it amongst the pros. All of a sudden, this became
Yeah, everyone
a
did
serious
it.
thing.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
the finals, man, that finals match, I'd never seen so many pros
True.
stick around and watch cornhole
And it lived up
and
to the
have
hype.
a great time. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and it lived up to the hype. It was like nail biter, great finish, and that's what I hope teams can become soon again.
Go
Go ahead. He was
I was going to say, because I know you guys, man, first off, again, so I've listened for about the last 6 months is when I'm late to the game. I'm
No,
late to the party.
We
By
like
the
to
way, You guys have such a deep catalog. How many episodes deep are we? 200?
This is 238.
We have close to 300 because there are some early on we didn't number. Like if it's a bonus episode,
Okay.
it's like 230 every Wednesday
Yeah.
if we've dropped whatever it is.
We never miss.
Yeah.
We've never missed a day.
Not a week.
Not a week.
Not one
But
week.
I've heard recently you guys talking about the teams, how, it's not exactly how you think it should be, or it's not connecting with the main audience. And I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's an important aspect of growing the game, the team game. But man, I don't have the answer to this. I wonder if you guys can throw it out.
I don't think
You need to, honestly, I'll say it flat out. If you want to go teams, you need to pot commit and make it the thing. I'm sorry, but like if you want to go that route, we're already changing over to state tournaments and stuff. Moving forward, if teams is going to be the thing, and that's what you see the future as, you got to just get it going now, and make that like a featured part of the Nationals weekend.
I think it's hard right now because I don't think that the games themselves are entertaining enough for someone to watch for the first time to then be like, oh, wait, when is that going to be on? And actively go to look for when the next time is going to be on.
Yeah.
You're hoping that they're going to catch people that are just clicking through or they're scrolling through like cornhole. Like, I'll fucking turn this on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hope that they stick around and watch. I don't know what those numbers are and if they've been good or if they've been bad. They must have been fair enough if like they signed another deal, is what I imagine.
Honestly, I think Saturday did pretty well for them because I was scrolling through and I'm like, there is not much on right now. So like, I bet you every bar.
Again, when it's not, if we're talking just teams though, not singles and doubles.
Yeah, super whole.
Those broadcasts can do
cornhole in general,
but we're talking just teams event. Yeah, it's tough. I think that what they might have to consider is that skins format is pretty fucking exciting. Like, where players are actively playing for money and they're going to go for a big shot every single time because you might as well because you're trying to win the round.
But my argument with the skins is it's too hard for the novice to understand.
I do agree that. I do agree. I don't know what the answer is, man. I really don't. Like, I like the concept of teams, but with them doing round limited, and when obviously we're trying to, like as a manager, right? They want to find that weakness, right? They're going to put their studs against the duds sometimes. It's not great for TV. It makes sense to try to win, and you have a whole crop of these guys that are getting on TV for the first time ever, and the nerves wrecking them.
Oh yes, that's real. That's a real thing.
It is. What if we make this like for the teams? You have to post your 1A team always faces the other 1A, and you have to rank them down, but then you leave the final 3 spots for the team broadcast or something as like TBD.
Because then
those are just fillers.
What are you doing then as a manager being like, you're team 7. I think you're our fucking 7th team.
I mean, people get drafted last. It is what it is. That. Like, okay, like to me, it's you're placed where you get picked, and if that's like the team that you're on,
but sometimes
that's who you're gonna face.
Again, sometimes putting shit and shit on all 4 fucking sides of the board does not make for a great match.
I disagree. I think if it's everyone at the same like level, even if it's shit and shit, some of our favorite matches we've ever called have been on the like competitive and intermediate levels because you just see crazy shit happen. And these are still pros, Sean.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not going to be intermediate level.
That's
They're
true.
still going to hit some.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think we need more of a storytelling aspect, almost like they used to do with wrestling back in the 2000s, where it's like, man, we'll tune in if we're invested in a storyline?
Yeah, and
do you think it needs to be something like that?
Yeah, I think the ACL has fallen short on marketing its key individuals. I really do. Like the first broadcast was all about Braden Wilson. He's 12 years old, and look at Braden Wilson. And I made the comment, I think the one time, like, if I was Gavin Cano, I'm like, fuck this kid. Yeah. Like, no offense, he's cute and everything, but like, I've been here, like, I'm fucking grinding for the last 2 years, trying to be the number 1 player in the world. Like, why the fuck is he getting all the limelight? You know what I mean? So I feel like this past weekend, it was all Cheyenne. Like, they threw all their fucking eggs in the basket. If I was a betting man, I'm watching this, like, well, we know for a fact that's not fucking rigged anymore because Cheyenne didn't win.
Yeah.
Because the ACL wanted nothing more than for them to, like, that's an easy talk point. Easy as a content guy in cornhole. Sure, if Cheyenne wins, a great talking point. It is. And apparently, we were not aware that there is a junior that's already won.
Yeah,
a national. Did you know that?
You talking about Ryan Trader?
Yeah, so I thought Ryan
Before
Trader was the
Ryan
first
Trader.
junior to win a national. Which
Oh, you're talking about Ian Cripps.
no, so
No?
Ian Cripps won a pro shootout. The
Oh,
national
you're right.
apparently was Fisher Hamilton, and apparently he's 17. But I didn't realize that
He's a
because
grown man child.
yeah, dude, he's the guy's like 8 feet tall. So
I mean, I think, like-
apparently he was 17 when he won. So a
By the
junior
way,
he won one.
The junior is
The
somebody.
dude can
like-
dunk. The dude's got hops.
Like,
I saw him dunking after the national in
He
Denver.
looks good, man. He looks good. He looks like fit.
He's trimmed
athletic,
down. He
you know
looks
what I mean?
good.
Yeah, he's got the military
He-
buzz cut.
He has what Caleb Batson's going through. It's transformation. I don't know what they're doing. They might be, it
The
might be
only
a team
difference
thing.
is the only difference is like as he's slimming down, like Fisher seems to be like still throwing well. Like Caleb, like
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on, man.
Caleb
Like
got
it's
a
just-
girlfriend.
Oh, that's honestly.
Yeah.
We said it before. These guys.
It's
Listen,
it's
yeah,
tales
we
old
said
as
it
time.
before.
I mean,
It's the same thing like when people
Yeah.
have the kid for the first time. You know,
look
what
at
I mean?
Tiger
Typically-
Woods.
Yeah.
So,
But seriously,
Yeah.
like, young guys when they start getting girlfriends, they find something else that they like. You know what I mean? Like in cornhole, they're not doing it 24/7. Like there's a dip. Like these guys that when they're on the pro level, the best of the best, they're all playing like 5 nights a week, most of them.
yeah. Shout out Alexi Dutt. Sweet girl, by the way. Very nice. She used to be a photographer. Was in the content game for a minute.
Okay.
Now she's kind of transitioning to other stuff. But really nice girl. Just throwing that out there.
Interesting. And listen, I really like Caleb. I think he's a phenomenal player. And
I do too. Yeah.
listen, fantasy league, he's my number 1 pick. And like, luckily,
Oh, was he?
and the fact that I'm still winning the league is just embarrassing. That my first pick was a dud.
It says a lot.
Yeah, just like, anyways.
Yeah. I
Do
feel
you know that you're winning? I mean, I thought that was an Isley League, Sean. Is
It is.
still
I
being
listen.
posted?
It's selling. I love this question by Laura Allhouse. She wants, how do you like juggle, like when you go to an event, right? And I think we struggle with this too. Like, how do you struggle being able to say like, what's up to everyone, chop it up, you know what I mean? Catch up with people that you don't see all the time, but then not missing like the moment that you need to miss, that you can't miss. You know what I mean? Like trying to stay on top of like, do you go in there with like a schedule? Like it's hard, right?
Yeah. Well, like to be honest, right now, I only have a couple clients that I actually have to film for. I have a client list. So right now it's Tony Smith. Right now it's Jeremiah Ellis, which is not a bad
know.
combo right there.
You know.
And then, and then whoever else, hired me that weekend, bad company wise. Lately it's been AAR Cornhole.
Okay.
So I focus on those, individuals or teams first. And then whoever else I happen to get along the way, is gravy. It's extra, right? It's a cherry on the top. But I've been fortunate where I haven't had a client, let me put it this way. I haven't had a client walk up to me and say, bro, I just hit the craziest shot. Thank you so much for, I'm thankful I paid you to film this for me. And me thinking to myself, oh shit, I was in the bathroom the last 10 minutes.
Sure.
I didn't get that. It hasn't happened yet. Thank
Okay.
God. But, I have lots of cameras. I set them out and I've been fortunate to capture all those moments.
Sweet. Now, like, if bad company, like, how do they approach you to like? Are you like booked up for like the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so-
For the rest of this year, I'm
Popular.
pretty locked in. I think there's a small slot open at the next open, which is in Canton, Ohio, which I'm really looking forward to. Are you
We'll
guys
talk
gonna
about-
yeah,
camera.
we're gonna talk off camera, so don't take any bookings.
Oh, okay.
Done.
Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah.
By the way,
Don't answer any
I'll
calls
ask you
while
off-
you're on call with us.
Lock it off.
Okay. Okay.
Let me look at the.
I got a question.
You please.
So you're a film guy. So if you could have any director, living or dead, whose cornhole content would you want to see, like any director, living or die, make?
Wow. I'm a big John Carpenter fan.
Yeah,
He made
dude.
the
Oh,
original
yeah, dude.
Halloween.
They
He
live.
made, oh God.
The
Yes.
Thing. Have you guys
The
ever?
Thing.
Thing
The
is
Thing.
phenomenal.
Have you ever seen John Carpenter's Vampires?
Yes.
Woods.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
James Woods.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
movie like low key slaps super hard, dude.
Really?
It's
Not only is he a great filmmaker, but he also does a lot of his own music.
Yep.
And I'm a huge fan of not only his films, but his music, his score, and his son, Cody Carpenter, is now in the music industry also making music for other films. So I'm a big John Carpenter fan. I can only, so now with John Carpenter in my mind, right? Who would he, let me throw this back on you guys, right? So think
Okay.
Halloween, think the thing, this very specific look. Now think of a pro who he's going to shoot content for.
Is there anybody
Jacob
that looks
Trzynski,
like
maybe that could be great.
I was thinking
Jacob
somebody
Trzynski.
maybe that like
Can
is
I-
kinda
okay, this one
scary,
sounds
like
weird.
in a weird way.
Yeah. Okay,
Because
say
you
it.
think maybe he's gonna
I wanna
like
see if you can
collapse
say it
in
well.
front of you, but I was gonna think Kyle Malone.
Okay,
Ooh.
I don't know why, but I feel like he's got like this villain look that could play really. Josh Holland.
Yeah, Josh Holland.
Oh, wow.
Right up there.
I don't know. I know it's kind of
Maybe
weird,
they
and
could
it's
be
not a shot at
brothers in
him,
the
but like,
movie.
yeah, I don't know. Like Josh Holland always just like I'm like, you could play a villain so bad, like so
Yeah.
well. I feel like I don't know why.
The other one you could do that could just be like straight horror would be Jimmy Humans, like scare the big arm.
That's true.
You never
All
know.
right, well, let me really think about this. Who else?
Yeah.
Run through my catalog of individuals here.
256 pros here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seeing Lori Duel walk up to you, like all 4'3" of her, like in the dark, would be pretty frightening.
especially with
She
that.
can
like,
sneak. She can
Halloween
sneak up on you.
background.
She can sneak up on you.
It's
It's those quiet ones. It's like
It is quite
it's like Sarah Cassidy, right? Sarah Cassidy is super quiet, but man, she has been killing it on the boards lately.
yeah.
She had a great weekend in Milwaukee. Doesn't say a whole lot.
Yeah,
No,
we've all
very
seen
shy.
Misery, right?
I feel like that kind of hurts her a little bit, to be honest with you. I feel like she's super
Violence.
marketable, and she's
She
like,
is.
and she's like cool. Like, you know what I mean? She plays video games. She's like a
Yeah,
cool
she's a gamer.
pro.
Yeah.
But then, like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, we don't know anything else about her. And that's, like, going back to, like, what you were saying before. Like, I just feel like the ACL hasn't done a great job of, like, picking the ones to, like, really run behind a market. And, like, the fact that we're not seeing, like, cornhole pros on, like, the national TV shows and stuff like that, I feel like we're just doing
Yeah.
a disservice, and we just need to be going in the right direction. I don't know. Did you happen to see, I follow some random fucking stuff on Facebook.
Oh,
Disc golf, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
you follow it all. They had their first female win combined in her career 400,000 in tournament winnings.
that's nuts.
400.
Not sponsorship dollars.
Okay,
Not.
so you
Yeah.
say that's nuts, and then, like, that's a lot more than you would have thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's been and then I read the comments. I had to chime in, and all I said was like, "Wow, that's kind of crazy when you like compare it to cornhole."
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't saying like, "Oh, that's a lot," or like, I'm just throwing it out there. Well, I was getting attacked by the disc golf community, which was fun this morning. Woke me up a little bit, but somebody else had broke it down because I asked the question like, well, eventually, like, how long has she been playing for? And they're like, it breaks down to like she would an average win of $22,000 in tournament winnings over her career. Very
Wow.
sweet, like good.
22,000. I mean, if you're winning 2 or 3 a year, you can
Yeah.
still basically make your enough.
I think the highest ever was either Smith or Richards, one of the two. They earned, I want to say, like $80,000 in tournament winnings, kind of in a year. The problem is, like, they're
only
not
4.
doing that a year. We have not seen anybody do it year after
Yeah.
year after year.
But
Like,
there's
that
also
is
only
revolving
4.
door, number one.
There's a lot more disc golf tournaments out there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's just like golf. They're playing every weekend.
That's true.
And they have the chance to win.
I don't know why that randomly
In
just
about
popped in my
the
head.
same size field as cornhole too.
Okay, so this was another good question by Laura. She wants to know,
She had a bunch of good ones.
she says, being a small business owner myself and also working full time, I'm curious to see how you handle real life struggles of like balancing a full time job and your side gig. Is this your full time job right now?
No.
What do
So
you do full time?
I have a really boring blue collar job, but what it allows me to do is I've got vacation and sick time saved up.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hit that 15-year mark so I can retire with that pension.
Sweet.
I'm still about 8 years away from that. But again, I have enough time saved up or they allow me to, go out and do my thing. But in terms of Laura's question, shout out Laura. Man, Laura is one of the best.
She is.
Again, that is the owner of Girls Throw too. Again,
Yeah.
shout out. I'm a huge fan. Women is where it's at. I could talk about it for hours. But honestly, I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I don't even have a girlfriend. This is my life right now. I've completely sold
You're, like,
out.
literally
to
the
cornhole.
best, like the content creator like lifestyle. Like you have to be.
Yeah.
Like you
I've
can't
sold out.
you can't be married. You can't have kids to do
You
what you're doing. You can't. It's hard. It's really difficult.
It's hard. You're married with kids, right?
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much more challenging it is
If
to juggle both.
If I wanted to do this full time, right, we would have to travel to everything, right? We'd have to really go, and we'd be traveling every weekend, going to get content and stuff. but that's just not a realistic possibility right now. And unfortunately, like I'm cheering from the rooftops that cornhole makes it big, right? Like I want it to be as big as the NFL one day, and maybe we can finally do that. But until I just don't see it happening right now. I think we're kind of at the pinnacle. I think, which is okay. Like it's fine, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
If
like
we
we're
want to
still
grow,
on
we gotta do it.
It's still decent, right? I mean, they're still doing decent prize pots, which will maybe slowly grow over time. But are like a whole bunch of people going to be doing it for just a living? No, I think that we're going to probably stick around like the 20, maybe 30 people that can actually do it full time. And when I say full time, like what kind of lifestyle is that? Like everyone's got a different idea of what that is in their head, which is fine. But like I know for me, like it's not enough to like support a family on that. So again, we're going to continue to see this young generation fucking dominate. And then they get a girlfriend or it's time to get a big boy job because the parents are off their parents' insurance. And all of a sudden the skills dip. Why? Because they don't have the time to play 6 days a week anymore.
Yeah.
It's a common tale. It's okay. It's going to happen. I hope that eventually we get to a point where these young dudes can make a full-time living, like a good living, not just off bad company sponsorship money, but enough off prize money to win.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping. We'll see.
Yeah, it feels like the bad company sponsorship dollars have gotten smaller and smaller through the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that I'm trying to do specifically with the guys that I work with, and not just them, but with Bag Season specifically, is we have got to get out of this circle that we're in. We're in this web of cornhole followers. We've got to break that mold. We've got to get out there and reach people who don't know shit about cornhole. Maybe they've seen it on ESPN. Maybe they've seen one of my reels come across their either TikTok or whatever social media platform. But I'm talking about going to SneakerCon events, horror movie event, whatever it is. I want to take my client list. I want to take Tony. I want to take Jeremiah and whoever else wants to invest with me and go out there and bring the game to the people. Stop waiting for the people to come to us. We got to go out to them and show them, yo, this is crazy. This game is fun. You gotta show up. This is a lot of fun.
No, I completely agree. Like, there's definitely opportunities to grow the overall game. And I feel like that's not on the ACL itself right now because the ACL has adapted and they're responsible to grow the pro side of the game. The overall growth in the game is on all of us. Like, we need to get it out to as many people as we can. So I love that idea. I think it's important for guys like you who social media is changing the game of marketing, right? Like in 10 minutes, you can have 1 million people see stuff. It's crazy. You can play the algorithm game and all that stuff, but like, I mean, you can get way more people than your typical just hosts now. You know what I mean? Especially when you start getting followers. So it's, it's important step, man. I really think I do.
We need to start our ad campaign that we are the first brothers with beards from Cleveland to start a podcast. All right. We can just start attacking the Kelsey brothers. Yeah. You guys, I love you.
Let's see. They're East Siders anyways.
They are. I know. So are you. Get out of here.
I live on Tremont now.
Yeah, you start.
Now you're towing the line.
Oh, enough with the schmutz. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Jacob wants to know, what's your favorite sneaker?
Oh, I like the retro Jordan 4. So I don't know if you guys saw, but when we went to Las Vegas a couple months ago, we took Tony Smith to a very elite sneaker store called On the Arm. Shout out On the Arm, Mike. He allowed us to come in there and take Tony and shop through the store. They've got like crazy. We actually held an 85 vintage Jordan 1, the Chicago 1 shoe. It felt like an old catcher's mitt. It was super stiff. It had a life to it. But he happened to have it there, and he was like, take a look. This is where it all started right here. They were actually called the Sky Jordans, or it was called the Air Jordans. Anyways, we took Tony. He did a little shopping spree, bought some stuff. Shout out Mike Hennessy with Lucky Bags. He copped the bill, which we appreciate.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Because that shit ain't cheap. That stuff isn't cheap. But it was cool because I think Tony is one of those guys that is marketable, that can cross over to another specific group of people outside of the cornhole community. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, man. If I could take a guy like Tony or a guy like Jeremiah or a girl like, I mentioned Lexi earlier, Hugeback. somebody out there and let's go out to the people and let's do something that's outside of the cornhole game. So I can go off on a tangent, but yeah,
No, I
I
agree
like the
though.
Jordan 4s.
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you guys
So-
wear, by the way? What's on
I'm
y'all's
not-
feet when you
yeah,
go out
I'm
to
not. I'm not a sneaker
I'm
guy
rocking
at
a
all.
sexy pair of Fila's right now that are really good.
Bro, Fila's are
Cool.
super comfortable.
Oh, yeah. Love
Super
it.
comfortable.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with them, man. They
Robbie?
feel good.
I just wear all black Vans with the white V and white
So you're wearing the same shoes that you wore in high school.
pretty much. Not checkered anymore though. I do have an affinity towards some Adidas as well.
Yeah.
Just all black Adidas like low tops. Just like tried and true black goes with everything.
My go-to forever.
Oh, yeah.
The Nike Cortez. I used to have like 4 different colors. It was just the plain white Nike with a different colored swoosh on the side.
Oh, okay.
And there was a time when I owned every color
Yeah.
Nike Roche. But
I also
that's
have
when
that.
I was into fashion. I'm like color match. I'm like married, and I'm like, well, shit, man. Like, does it match?
Let me ask one more question. Have you guys noticed that people are starting to focus more on what they wear, on, like they call it the drip, right? On the drip from the throwers on
younger
ESPN.
generation. Yeah.
Are you noticing that, and what do you think about it?
I mean, the younger generation does for sure. But then,
Yeah.
like, you see, like, Tanner Halpert up there, who's just a married man, slinging some bags, just rocking the beer belly.
Well,
and
I
it gives
felt
us all
so bad because I called. It was, and this is not a shot at him at all. Josh Glover went out like with like baggy like
That's a
sweatpants,
little
and
different approach.
I posted something on Twitter basically calling him out. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
That's
Like,
the
we're trying to
Aaron
seem like, you know what I mean? Which is like, but
Exactly. That's
and
an
then
Happy
but the
Gilmore
next
word.
kid came out with shorts and slides on.
Yeah.
Who? I mean, it's just what feels comfortable for one is just not the best for that. So until the ACL comes out with like a uniform, I don't think we'll ever see it. So I'm okay with people being
Yeah.
individuals. I hate the fact that they force them to have to wear like these like stupid fucking jerseys.
Yeah.
With like the fucking logo so small. Like no one's looking at a fucking jersey and being like, what's that logo on there? All right, what's
rather than
yeah.
on the jersey,
logo, yeah.
why not just always have it posted on the screen?
Yeah, it's just
Like at all
So many
times,
different options.
whenever
That's a great idea.
so then people can rock their own
Yeah.
cool flair
Yeah.
on the main stage. But it's
create characters.
things that we think of on the outside that because we know that seeing your logo that much bigger on the screen makes that much more difference for your company.
Yes.
People
Has
understand-
anybody ever purchased all 4 corners and made it one logo?
Yeah, I mean,
You know how it's like
some of
4.
the- some of the
Yes.
lucky bag guys, like that's all they have in
Yeah.
the front. Just
You
the
can
big lucky-
combine.
Oh, okay.
Can combine. Yeah. Logos. Not everyone does it. I mean, my favorite are the ones that don't even, you can tell they don't put in any work because they'll have the same logo just 4 times, but it's all small. Like they don't take the time to be like, oh, can we just like combine and ask the
Yeah.
question? Like they're like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your logo's on it multiple times.
Yeah, sponsored by
Like,
them
it's
4
even-
times.
Even more return.
I like this question, Robbie. This is gonna be very up your alley too. If you can only eat one type of meat for the rest of your life, what would it be? Beef, pork, chicken, something exotic? Which meat has the best variety of dishes it can be made into?
Man.
All right, so it's funny. So I work in a restaurant. So I actually just went and like asked one of my things at work is I just walk around and I ask people dumb questions when we're slow, like, hey, what's your least favorite color?
Okay.
And like shit like that. So I went up to these guys and all these chefs, and like the chefs at my restaurant, like my restaurant's nice, but like these guys are like, some of them have like worked in some like James Beard and like
Yeah.
to your restaurant. And I'm like, if you could only eat one meat for the rest of your life, what would it be? And they all had different answers
Really? Okay.
for the thing that they would eat for all different reasons. And then I asked them what's one meat you would never eat again, and they all had the same answer. So I'm not going to break that until after we all pick.
Okay.
So if somebody picks what you shouldn't, I can shit on you. So
No pressure.
Dude, Robbie's stubborn.
so my
If you copy Robbie, we're good.
Yeah, we're
good.
so honestly though, so if I just like overall, just like what I think I would enjoy, what I think would also be like halfway like decent for me, and just what I think goes with everything, I would probably do pork.
Okay.
The only thing would be it'd be tough because like there's like like carbonara, like I love Italian food, so like carbonara has guanciale, which is like dried
Beef cheek.
pork jowl,
Yeah.
like pork jowl and stuff like that. But like
Or pork cheek.
chicken française, like I can never have that, and lemon and pork that doesn't really work. But at the end of the day, I can just do a pasta hoc, but it would probably be pork. Like if I could only.
It's getting a little technical here.
But plus,
Guess
like
what?
chorizo.
I could find a way to
yeah,
serve
exactly.
citrus pork to you.
I know.
You'll
No,
enjoy it.
there's definitely ways to do it, but it's just
It's called just slap a shandy in your hand.
No, but yeah, I'd probably, if I could only eat one meat for the rest of my life, it's probably gonna be pork.
Sam, what about you?
I'm a chicken guy. I'm
Okay.
not I don't really like steak. Yeah, I don't really mess with that. So many things you can do with chicken. I'm a chicken dude.
Fair enough. I'm also picking pork. It wasn't even
Yeah.
close for me. Like,
Yeah,
of course I'm picking pork.
Dude, I'm going beef.
Are you really? Okay, so we covered all the I keep looking at Robbie like, who picked wrong?
So the common consensus among the chefs of so my exec chef, he picked fish, for what he would
All right,
eat.
so if fish is on the, like, what are we talking
Yeah,
here? Because
we
if
get
we're
all
incorporating selfish.
No.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. That's what I'm
He
saying.
specifically said one, I forget what it was, but a species of fish.
Okay.
And like
Nerd.
our sous chef, that was my second chef, and our sous chef was like, well, you'll die because like every time you
Mercury
eat fish,
poisoning.
mercury, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
That's why I was
And
thinking
then-
I can't just do fish.
Well, no, and the chef said
Don't
like
be a
your
bitch.
body will like work up. It's such minute amounts of
Yeah.
mercury your body.
Oh, I
will
forgot
work
that
or
that
something.
chef is a doctor. No, it doesn't work out in your system.
No, but so I will
It's
say,
mercury poisoning for a reason.
and I'm
Because it
and I'm,
builds up.
and I'm sorry to boy, the census what
Chicken?
people would never eat is chicken. But their
Why?
their reasoning is because chicken is and this is direct quote, a dirty bird.
I get
It's a
that.
dirty bird that tastes delicious and poops
And
out
no,
gold.
I
For
will
sure.
say I
Right.
almost
Leave
pick
me
chicken
fucking
only
eggs and
because
chicken all day.
if you
It's-
go with chicken, like you can always find something on the menu, like anywhere you go.
Yeah.
They don't always have pork on the
Right.
menu.
Again, I'm sorry, but if you
You go to
pick
fast
chicken,
food, you're fucked. Like
you
you're not
can-
getting. What are you gonna get?
you can never eat ribs again.
You can be beef.
No, if you're only eating
Oh, chicken?
chicken, you
Yeah,
can.
you can have wings though.
Okay, yeah, chicken
No,
wings.
I'm-
Sold. Look.
I'll take ribs over wings literally any day of my life.
Would you really?
You ever had like a good smoked
Yeah.
chicken thigh? Like,
Yeah, have
those-
you ever
those
had
are
like
next
St.
level.
Louis style, like 18-hour smoked ribs, bro?
No one picked turkey yet.
Yeah, no one went turkey route.
No.
No one went like the exotic game meat. Like even though I love
Yeah.
rattlesnake.
Like
On Thanksgiving, when we have the nice ham, Dane goes to grab a slice. You slap that shit. You shouldn't be.
It was in the moment, right? But no, I will
This is
take.
hypothetical. We're not doing it.
Robbie, we're gonna close this out with no pressure here. You have your tier talk ready?
I do have my tier.
All right, what's your tier talk?
Oh.
Dude, well, so since we were just talking about movies, I'm not just doing a general top tier movies because that's impossible.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Okay.
But what I am going to say is I'm going to narrow it down a little bit, but still keep it a little broad.
Okay.
Give me your tiered crime movies.
Okay.
I like
So
it.
honorable
Okay.
mention 3, 2, 1.
Crime movies.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, if you want to start it off.
All right. Honorable mention for me is going to be Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
All right, just
Good
a
one.
classic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just felt. Number 3 is going to be Bad Boys.
Classic.
Um,
Just original.
yeah, it's the original. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the original. I mean, 2 was great too. Don't get me wrong, but like the original just kind of set the tone. Same thing with Lethal Weapon. Like, I love the first 2 are great. But either
What do
one was
you
great.
like Lethal Weapon 5
It's all right.
from our boys over at Always Sunny?
Mhm.
Classic.
Trying to think. Number 2 is probably. I think crime movies. You know what movie? I just because it's coming to my head first. The Lincoln Lawyer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
solid, man. McConaughey.
Right? Yeah. I don't know
You
why
know
that's
who's
popping
in that
my head.
movie, you guys? It comes up every time I'm on the show. Marissa Tomei.
Every time. How does it always come back to Marissa Tomei?
It's gonna fuck.
God damn. Number 1, Sean. Number 1 crime movie.
I know. Blanking out on the name.
And Robbie, by the end, you're the last one to go, and you
Okay.
can't repeat anyone.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's fine.
The Departed.
Yeah.
Solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
For sure.
See? Okay, cool.
All right, so that's fine.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to go next, so why don't you take it away, Sammy?
I'll go with the David Fincher filmmaker trilogy. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's a more recent one.
It was good.
Classic.
Great film. I'm putting that at 3. Number 2 is Gone Girl, which is kind of a sleeper. That's a sleeper
Yeah, that
for
was
me.
good.
But
I like that.
number one with David Fincher is Seven. Came out in 1997.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt,
Fantastic.
Morgan
So good.
Freeman.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite crime films.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched The Killer yet?
Yes.
So Michael
Yes, I
Fassbender's
saw it.
the movie
That's
that
been-
it's just
Yeah.
like I'm a sucker
Yeah.
for the Smiths.
Yeah.
And I saw that in theaters,
Yes.
and as soon as that first
Yeah.
song started, I was like, if this whole soundtrack is the Smiths, it's gonna be perfect.
Have you watched the Jack?
Yeah.
Oh, so I watched the show, but the movie itself that the show's based on is we'll get to
the
this.
show? How it was so good, right?
The show was so good.
Dr.
Good
She's like
gentleman.
vintage. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
oh,
good.
yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
All right, honorable mention. Snatch.
Oh God damn it!
Ooh,
sick.
another
Yeah,
Brad Pitt.
movie,
Yeah.
Great movie.
But then number 3, very close to the breast, Lock, Stock, two Smoking Barrels.
yeah, another great one.
Uh-huh.
Love that movie. Number 2, we'll see kind of a theme, but I'm going to go Bone Collector.
Okay.
Ooh,
That
yeah.
movie, I just, the first time I saw it, it was one of those that like kind of blew my mind like, at the end of it, and I had never forgot it, and I still love watching it to this day. And then number 1, another one, you'll see a theme here, but Inside Man.
Oh, love that movie.
I love
Denzel
Denzel
Washington.
and
Oh, yeah.
Inside Man, like
Oh.
another one that I was just
Wow.
goddamn. All right, like this movie kind of like threw me through a loop. I saw it young, and I still love it to this day. And I watched it
So you can rob a bank and get away with it.
100%.
Like,
So I'm like, man, genius plan.
yeah, like yeah, the whole thing full circle.
That could
Yeah.
work,
Do you consider like John Q a crime movie?
dude. I was honestly thinking that route, and then the
Because
other.
I was too, and I'm like, it's
I'll throw another honorable mention, but we'll do Ocean's 11, OG.
No, you can't
Okay.
do that. You can't do that,
Okay,
bro.
all right.
You can't
Sorry,
do that. You
you're
can't
right.
do another honorable mention, bro.
I'm doing a secondary honorable mention for Ocean's 11 because he asked the question, put him on the spot.
Robbie, go ahead.
Robbie,
Heard.
it's now your time to shine.
All right, so probably my honorable mention is see, I don't want to like repeat directors, but I kind of do.
You can repeat directors. It's okay.
No, I know. So
The reason
like,
that they're directors because they make multiple movies that are good.
that's true.
Otherwise, they're just directors.
So
And then-
Yeah. They have their genre.
Yeah.
that's good. So I'm probably gonna do an honorable mention. See, this is tough because I got my top 3, which are real easy.
Did I steal your honorable mention?
No, you didn't. You
All
didn't
right.
steal an honorable mention, but I'm gonna. So probably because I'm trying to think like what I've watched, like because I rewatch stuff.
You're
all
thinking
the time.
too hard. You
I
see that
guess.
cuff? You pull it off of it. And that's what we're going with right now.
Oh, pull it off the cuff.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm gonna say honorable mention. Probably Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown,
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
and then number 3 is Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Ocean's 12.
Oh,
Because that movie's so stylized, and Luke Soderbergh, the director, does a great job. And like those guys, that whole movie, the pace is great, but they're just every actor in that movie, they're just cooking.
yeah.
Underrated makeup in that movie too.
Underrated everything. Like that, like that movie's like gotten really.
Well, it's like a pissing match.
You
between
lie,
all
but
the
literally when
actors.
they
You're all
rip
trying
off,
to outdo each
when they
other.
rip
It's
off
crazy.
his nose in that
Yeah.
one scene, it's just like
No, that's Ocean's 13.
Oh, that's 13.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
the
then
Brody. The
forgive
nose
me.
plays, dude.
don't forget everything I just said.
And then
number 1.
Number 1. It was kind of a tie, but it's not because it's Heat. Michael Mann's Heat.
Okay.
Like,
Hell yeah. I mean,
a
honestly,
classic.
one popped into my head as we were sitting here.
Right.
But I'm actually very sad that we didn't throw it out there, but Lawless.
Oh, dude, it was such a good movie.
Fucking,
yeah.
like,
That's
love
Tom
that
Hardy,
movie.
right?
Yeah, Tom Hardy,
yeah,
Shia
so
LaBeouf,
good.
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
I remember.
Listen, that's the thing when you do these tier talks, like you're put on the spot.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
stuff
and you
just
sit
keeps
here,
popping in
I
your
could
head the whole
literally,
time.
the 3 that I pick are rarely ever the ones that like I would actually pick.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like those just happen to be the 3 movies.
But now I
that
want to go watch them.
crazy fucking brain that just kind of pop out random ideas and shotgun them and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to grab as I can.
Like,
So,
do you guys remember Collateral?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
for
Tom
sure,
Cruise,
great
Jamie
movie.
Foxx,
Yeah.
like another Michael Mann movie.
You know what Tom Cruise
Michael Mann.
just watched was the Vanilla Sky.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vanilla Sky. Hey,
Yeah.
man, hey, have you ever heard of the band Radiohead?
That
Another classic. I don't know. It was on the other day, so I watched.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up this part, and we're gonna go because we still have a bag review to do. So
Sure.
the next part, you're gonna hear Dane and I wrapping up the episode, doing a bag review.
Sweet.
But
Ignore everything that we say that we're going to be back with an interview because it just happened.
Samuel, thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been fun. Like I said, huge fan of your content. Are you you're going to Canton?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna work something out. Like it's an hour away from us, so we're gonna be there all weekend. But thank you very much for joining us. Keep killing it in the content game, man. If you guys have not checked them out, check them out on Facebook. It's Bag SZN. What are your handles on Instagram and Twitter and everything?
They're both Bag Season on
Okay.
Bag Season on IG and Bag Season Cornhole on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, so go check it out. Seriously, some of the best video content that is out there in the cornhole world for sure. And if you're a cornhole bag company and you're like, wow, I want my guys featured, well, he's a popular dude, so reach out to him early and
Go get him
and book your shit.
Hell
right?
yeah.
Because again, like this cornhole travel stuff's not cheap. All right. So support the community. He's putting out a banger content. So the least you can do is drop the guy a follow.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Well, safe travels, my friend. We'll have you hang on just for a moment. We're going to let the folks go at home. But enjoy the bag review, and we'll be back in just a second.